Thank you, babe. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Oh, make sure you tune in. What's going on, glowers? At this 5, you know what time it is. It is time for We Glow Live. We Glow Live on Wednesdays. And today we have such an amazing guest. I am super excited because, this guest was actually a long time coming. Y'all know usually the way this works, I'm they're like clockwork. They're like clockwork, but so much has been going on in both of our lives that this is not only just going to be a great live and a great conversation, but it's also going to be just kind of like a reconnection, if you will. I met this dynamic young lady at a housing awareness. Y'all know what I'm on. I'm on hijack housing. I'm on some F that rent. I'm on housing reform. And I met her at a rally for affordable housing. And her story was so touching to me. I literally invited her to the Colored Only Cafe brunch launch that following weekend, and I was so pleased to see that not only did she come and bring her daughter, but she also brought a friend. It was just a lovely night. She won actually one of the gift prizes. This was not a setup. And she gifted me, which I totally wasn't expecting, with her book. And it was a great journey because if you all know me, you know I am a believer in the power of words. I'm a believer in the power of manifestation. I'm a believer in trusting the process. All right. Even though sometimes it may be difficult to do so. And her book spoke to so much of that and so much energy when it comes to that I just wanted to provide space on my platform. And so literally this conversation was supposed to happen months ago for the first time, and then a week ago for like the third time, but now we're finally doing it. And so if I'm smiling a lot during this live, if I'm giggling a lot, please know that charge it to my head and not to my heart. We have some wonderful people that have just tuned in. Naima, welcome. And Naima is a believer in the power of words as well. As I knew it would. This live is going to attract a lot of like-minded individuals. So without further ado, I'm going to bring not only my guest, but my friend to the stage, a fellow queen, a believer in the power of words, manifesting and creating your destiny. Her name says it all. Without further ado, up to the stage, up to the platform y'all know what it is. Glowers, give her a glowing welcome for this event. And please share this out because this is going to be a fun one. Miss Mrs. Destiny herself. Thank you. Can you hear me okay? I want to make sure. And Naima, how are you today as well? How is the summer treating you? You ready to go back to school? Ready for the littles to be back in school? Yeah, we have such big developments even with my own self in regards to that as well. This is going to be an incredible shift of events these upcoming months. So I hope everybody is getting prepared and being able to respond accordingly because there will be some shifts.
Can you hear me?
I'm so glad you're here. Yes, yes. Welcome. Oh, unmute your mic, Destiny. Yes. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it is so great to see you. And like I said again, Destiny, I cannot apologize enough, for just life taking us by the horns over these past couple of months and not being able to get you up here sooner because as soon as we met, I wanted to have you on that next week. So I'm so grateful though that again trusting the process for a time such as this, you're here today. So go ahead and please introduce yourself to the Glow Nation. We are glowers, we are lighters. Some wonderful people are already in the room. Naima being one of them. She's one of my faithfuls from out of the Virginia area. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the guest, and we're going to get this conversation glowing.
Everybody. Okay. You can't hear me. You hear me? It's like, wait, because I can't hear anything. Okay, how are you guys doing? So I am Destini. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Courtney, for inviting me on this podcast. I'm super excited. I am a poetry author. I write based on reflection. I'm very big on reflection. It was very heartening doing the reading, all the people who are and not really necessarily having a blueprint to go inward in order to find those resolutions. Earlier with the subway, and it's such an and it touched like what is going on inside where it cannot be resolved verbally. Just you take the loss or whatever it was, you know what I mean? And it's just I wish we understood how important it is to go in source. How important it is to say, okay, I'm upset about this, but why am I upset? What am I feeling about someone else? How is it that I'm that? I don't know. It was definitely a lot to write about, to think about with all the violence. I just I couldn't do because it was so it was I went down a rabbit hole. But there's a lot of pain and I really can doing something, resorting to just in any situation. Let's just take a moment and just upset about exactly. Male, a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? I think we dig deeper, but I get long-winded, so I'm gonna pass the mic.
Well, you don't have to feel like you're being long-winded because actually, this is, this glower power hour is something that I absolutely look forward to. When I say my guests and my uh colleagues that I invite to the stage, I'm actually totally invested in that. This is the spotlight is on you, the glow light is on you, and this is your platform. But I did want to get into a little more into your background, Destiny, and how and like I said, I knew that this particular conversation would attract members of the same light, right? Hey, Guy Nollywood. Hey. How are you, brother? Absolutely. How are you? Are you traveling this summer? Or are you still in New York? Let me know. Let me know. Guy Nollywood. My husband is from New York as well. Yeah. So join us tonight. Speaking of which, you all join us tonight, please, for the special Glow After Dark. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be tonight at midnight because we've already gotten our licensing and everything, and we've done a union ceremony. But tomorrow we officially exchange the vows tomorrow morning. So we're countdown. I'm already doing the ring thing though, y'all. I'm already back joining the ring game. But right, Naima. I knew that you would be interested. And like I said, I knew that this particular conversation would attract like-minded individuals, people that we are manifestors. We're controllers of our own destiny, and we're literally writing our own stories. And so, with that being said, Destiny, I want to talk about writing your own stories because let me tell you. See, I had to sit on the sofa for this one, y'all. I had to sit on the sofa so I could relax, so I could, we could really get in because we're having a conversation. We're not at the table today, y'all. We're not at the desk today. We're having a real conversation, and we're just like I said, just girlfriends reconnecting. But something that I really kept feeling when I was reading through your pieces was the vulnerability. That vulnerability is really hard. And I know this as a writer, as a performer, and as a coach in doing so. I know that that vulnerability is very hard to kind of get around in order to tell your story. Let's he said, let's see that ring. Well, come on, let's see. Come on tonight at midnight. You'll get a better grasp of it. But it's mounted. So yeah. It's beautiful. Um, but y'all know it's not about the ring. It's about, but it is beautiful. Um, but let's get into it about your background and how you got to a place where you were able to be so vulnerable. Because some of those pieces, to tell you the truth, sis, they were hard to read, even for me to read and to know you. So if it's hard for me to read them and to know you, then how much harder was it to actually come to the point where you're able to share this story? And also make sure you drop a link into the chat so people know where they can find your book, Destiny, and how they can pick it up and support. Because I can tell you that literally everybody in this room they supported my debut novel, Be Without You slash Should Have Known Better. This novel. So I expect the reception for you to be of the same vein. But yeah, talk a little bit about the vulnerability of putting forth such a piece as this, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so while we're waiting for Destiny's mic to reconnect, sometimes that happens when you get a call. So we're waiting for a mic to reconnect. But thank you so much, also, Guy Nollywood. It's a long time coming. I believe, Guy, you and I met virtually, of course, but we met right when I believe the last 2 or 3 years of my first marriage, and this is absolutely going to be my last my last marriage. But he is wonderful. You'll be able to meet him more. He's appeared already in a couple of lives with me. Y'all, excuse me, this dog is out of control. But he's already appeared in a couple of lives. But y'all will be able to kind of meet him a little bit more because the times where he's appeared on lives with me, they weren't announced. They were just, me jumping on lives, and he, of course, was here, so he was on them too. But this one is a planned introduction to all of my Glow Nation. So I really appreciate all of you because y'all know this journey of singlehood has not been the most easiest for me. Y'all know that I was abstaining these years. Guy, you also know that have had some sour dating experiences. So just I'm just really happy, really grateful that I stuck with the process and remained abstaining, and then met somebody as wonderful as I have. Is her book called The Words of My Soul? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kudos. I'm going to highlight that so everyone knows that. Replacing pin messages. And Naima says also, congratulations. I saw your post but didn't put two and two together. Yes, that was a real post. I know some people were just kind of wondering if I was saying I was like going to be married to the game, or I was married to my mission of hijack housing and my campaigns. But no, this is actually, me joining lives again with a beautiful, beautiful man. So I'm very pleased, very happy, and absolutely looking forward to you all meeting him more and yeah, just being a part of this journey with us. It's been incredible. It's been incredible. So you'll find out more information about him. You can ask, ask him some questions. He'll be on the hot seat tonight, midnight, guys. Um, how did we meet? Oh, we're gonna answer all of those tonight. Like I said, I'm literally just waiting for Destiny to come back. But we do have a great story of how we met. We'll be posting some things also tomorrow, which of course after the vow ceremony, we're leaving for a honeymoon, but we're going to be posting some things probably to our individual social medias before we leave for the trip. Thank you, Naima. I'm happy too. I'm super, super happy. Super happy. Guy said I definitely got questions for him. So be on tonight at midnight. You can definitely ask away. He's awesome. So I know he's gonna be great with responding to all of your questions. But yes, he's from New York, so I'm sure you guys can can chop it up about that. But what part are you from, Guy? I know you're in New York. I know that you're a New Yorker, but what part are you from? But yeah, I think it's amazing, right? That we've known each other that long. Like you see me finish up one marriage, and now starting on my next and my last, y'all. So I will share this. So it was very cute because one of the first questions he ever asked me when we were, on a call to get when we, were, talking on the phone, he asked me how did I come up with Courtney Omega, and he was always surprised that that's my real name. I was like, I didn't come up with it. Got Rosalind and Richard to thank for that. That's my real name. So he's from the Bronx. He's from the Bronx. Hey, Underrated Darkness! Oh my gosh, Underrated Darkness, you have got to be on here tonight. Underrated Darkness. Ah, it has happened, right? Right? Underrated? Oh my gosh. It has happened. It's happened. I'm a Mrs. again. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you guys bring her back up. So, and she's looking even more beautiful than she was when she was up here. I think she did she took a break to do a little glow up, y'all. Destiny said, Courtney not gonna get up here talking about her being married and steal my glow. I'm going to get a glow up too. She's looking even more beautiful.
Tell you, technology, and it will try to distract you from what you're trying to do. You got to keep your eye on the prize. I said, you know what? Okay, I don't know what's happening over here. I'm unplugging everything, and we're gonna go back in with the basics. We got the laptop, we got the ring light, and we're good to go. So you were asking me a question. You were asking me to dig a little deeper, and I was having sound issues. So if you wouldn't mind, if you could repeat what you were asking me so I can answer.
Absolutely. You know what I'm just now seeing your private chat, so excuse me. It's a little delay sometimes between, like if I was doing this on the phone, it comes quick, but on the laptop, it's a little delay. But the room has picked up, so it's actually great. Like you said, technology. You know how it says in scripture, what's thought to be meant against you, it works for you. We've doubled in the amount of people that are in there. So we're welcome. This is almost like a fresh start with the live. But I wanted to dig a little deeper to talk about the vulnerability, because I can just tell you from being a writer, from being a fellow performer, and being a coach, that vulnerability is very hard to overcome. To put out great work. And I was just sharing with the glowers a little bit that there were times in your book that they were uncomfortable for me to read and know you. So how uncomfortable was it to write this and to dig? So, just give a little bit of insight about your journey to overcoming that vulnerability.
Woo, that is loaded. Okay. So, all right. And I'm in a vulnerable state now because I'm actually working on my next piece, which causes me to go back, and I'm like in year 2006. So I'm this girl looking at that girl, and as I reflect on that girl, she didn't have, she had friends, she had people that gravitated to her, right? But I feel like that girl, she didn't really have anyone to consult with. Her emotions, whatever she felt, she more so she dealt with that from within, right? And that's through her writing. She just did it in a healthy way, you know. And I say that girl, since I'm different now, you know, I can analyze her. I can say, okay, the way that this vulnerability, it took her a long time to get here. You know what I mean? This is a recent thing that I was able to, you know, allow myself to be vulnerable in public. I was vulnerable in private. I would process information. I would process these emotions. I would process all of these things. I would write them down. However, the gift that I was given, you know, the gift that I have is the gift of self-reflection, to go back and be like, okay, Destiny, now that you got that out, that's awesome. You got it out. So what are you going to do about it though? Because it's going to keep happening. You're going to keep feeling these emotions. You're going to keep, you know, you're going to hide in your book. Like, what are you going to do about this? And I found myself going through my own blueprint, creating my blueprint of my life and being able to say, okay, this is not a good environment. You know, you went through, what happened here? You know, why are you stuck? You got stuck. You know, I would go through these sections and I would get stuck, and it's like, well, why am I stuck? So I would go back. You know, well, what was? Oh, you got a lot of toxicity going on over here. You let this linger, and you knew, because I can see it in your writings. You were emotional about this. Every time this person comes around, you feel this way. So it's in your writings. But there's some confidence here because you just wrote a song about how, like, I'm amazing, but you're not really treating yourself so amazing over here. So there's something going on. And I really honestly believe I went through that by myself. There's not really, I would talk about certain things with different people, but I was like, I for some reason, I'm like, I have the answer though. No one's going to have the answer. I have the answer. It's in my writings. It's in my thoughts. It's what's the source, Destiny? And asking myself questions, you know, answering those questions. But I was able to do that in private. So over time, this gift, if I was able to help me out, you know, because I was like, man, my writing has gotten me through a lot of scenarios. You know, I think about grades, everything. You know, if I felt something was wrong, I would write about it. And I want justice, you know, and I was able to do that through my writing. So I figured, if I can help me, right, the only way I can help other people is this can't be like a private thing. You know what I mean? I actually have to, like, you know, I'm gravitating into speaking, you know, about different things, but I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna put my words out there. I'm gonna put my processes out there. I'm gonna put this poetry that I wrote about this man that I love. And along with that, I have to talk about, you know, there's some pain before I got to that point though. I went through there was a lot, you know, that I allowed myself to go through by allowing myself to be in these situations that I you know what I mean? I knew, like, this is not a right path. You know, this is not a good person. This person is not a good person to you. And you're not being a good person to yourself. And I want to know why. Why are you not being good to yourself? Why do you feel like you should be in these scenarios? And I would just answer those questions. And I know I developed a tough skin, a thicker skin. I was able to, you know, get through more different challenges, you know. And I'm like, now I'm at the point where I see all of these things going on in the world, right? And I'm like, this is a source thing. You just go inward. Just go inward. Just go inward. But no one can, you know, I need to start telling people this though. I got to put books out there. I got to talk about it. We got to have, you know, these good, great, awesome collaborations. And for people to be like, man, why am I mad? You know, why when you approach a person who you don't know, you detect something within them that makes you feel like they think they're better than you. You're you. They're them. Whoever you are, that's who you were here to be. There's no one can what? There's not another Destiny. Your name, you know what I mean? There's not another Destiny. So there's nothing. It's those low vibrations. I feel like we're so we allow these low vibrations in our mix, and then it just our judgment. We're reacting off our emotions. We're doing things out of desperation. We're putting ourselves in worse situations than we would have if we just took a moment. Why are you upset? Or you have an insecurity. Okay, so you think this person thinks that they're better than you. Okay, so what? Let's say they did, right? What is it within you? Do they know the things that you know? Like, what is your profession? Are you a doctor? So let's just say as a doctor, right? So this person you think is better than you or thinks they're better than you, random person off the street, are they a doctor? Do they have the schooling that you have? Do they have the education that you have? Do they have the gift that you have? Can they bring some? Can they do these things? Me, an author, if someone, why would I think that someone care? Why do I care? If someone think I just don't think like that. That, oh, you think you're better than me, so I feel a certain way. No, that means that you feel a certain way about yourself. Because if you feel good about yourself, then we would just be uplifting people, right? We would see past those are insecurities. And unless they're addressed, unless you know about them, can you name all of your insecurities? I can, because I wrote them down. You know what I mean? I wrote them down, and I'm truthful with myself. You know what I mean? So you can't work on anything if you don't have awareness, right? If you don't create this awareness within yourself that there's something going on, right? There's an issue. There's something you haven't addressed. There's something going on with you. But if you don't take the time to ask yourself questions and truthfully answer those questions, what are we doing this for? What's the outcome? Like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? And if I don't talk about it, it fulfills me when I can have these type of conversations and just be myself and just say, I just want you to think, because it's not for me, it's for you. If I say, hey, just consider this. What if, why are you mad? This person was rude to you. Okay, they were rude. That's them, right? Were you rude back to them? No, that's them. That's a whole path that they have to go on. That does not impact your journey. All you can do is meet that with kindness, stay on your vibration, and you know what I mean, and remove yourself from those environments. I just watched something you was talking about your environment. Like, I changed environments, and when I changed environments, I was able to regain confidence. I was able to say, you know what, there's something bigger. Like, I'm not supposed to be like just writing, and you know what I mean? I'm not supposed to be like in this room just like writing my little, writing my, this is not, no. And when you start changing your environment and you start to, people who you thought would be there, with you, it feels good. No one wants to go to the top by themselves, right? And you just have to learn. You were speaking about that earlier. You just have to accept what is and understand, what's the bigger picture. And know that there are going to be some challenges in life. There are going to be some times when you'll be like, oh my gosh, you're going to cry. Just appreciate the process. Be grateful for this knowledge that you're getting, these experiences that you're having, so you can know, okay, this is the direction I don't want to go in. Let's go this way. There's only a few directions you can go in. If you tried all three options, like, just try this one, so just experience and patience with myself, and understanding, that I'm here for a greater purpose, understanding that, I am going to have to go through some vulnerability in order to get to the next level. I do have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where growth and development happens. That's how you end up with Courtney, and you're talking about it, and you're not, crying. I'm emotional, of course. However, I've accepted, okay, these situations are hard, you learn from it. It took you a while in a lot of scenarios. I was a little worried about that girl. I was a little, but as I look at her, I'm like, girl, I'm glad you got it together. Because why? Like, for you, how many, you go still, if you don't learn a lesson, it's a whole nother cycle. I feel like it's like a 4-year cycle you go through. And if you have like that 4-year window to get it together, and if you don't, you repeat it. You either meet someone new and you're in the same situation, or you have people that you call friends that aren't really friends, and that you have lack of reciprocity around you. So you're giving, and you feel depleted. There's so many different things that go on when you don't know who you are and what you want. And I started to remember who I am and what I want, and it's greater than that. So that is where my sacrifice is the vulnerability, so that I can touch someone, so I can reach someone, so I can give someone a different perspective. Make you think about some scenarios that you've placed yourself in. Not that what someone did to you, what you allowed to happen. A lot of us, we get that, get a little confused there. Like, yeah, they did this to me. How many times though? You stayed. You stayed. I stayed. So I can't. I forced myself to say what I allowed to happen, and I forced myself to understand that we have to treat it's what we speak, the words that we speak, how we treat ourselves, how we talk about ourselves, how we talk about other people, like all that matters. You know what I mean? And are we vibrating on, high frequencies? And I think the higher my frequencies are, the more confident I am, and the more I'm like, I ought to be vulnerable, because I'm not the only one who had some, some traumas. It's not new. We have a lot of people that have had traumas. It's how you react to it. And I just decided to react to it in a healthy way, in a way that, can help someone else. I did a lot, of shadow work myself to get to where I am now. So if I can say, hey, I had a scenario like this, and this is how I handled it, I don't know how you handled it, but, it's a suggestion. Maybe this could work for you. Maybe you could write your thoughts down and see how you feel about it. You know what I mean? And respect the process. It's the way you talk to people too. Courtney, come back. Okay, I yield the mic.
I don't yield the mic. I just wanted to make that, because talking about trusting the process, and I always say that the universe does not give you things that you are not in alignment with. Okay, so if you're having a problem with the way things are going, you're in alignment with those things, and what's happening. It's something for you to learn from, that sort of thing. And so it's the same thing with your messaging or your energy, like your tribe. And there were some key parts that you were already stating that I'm like, you're already hitting the things that are just continuously and consistently coming up in my personal and professional life. But when you said about, writing through it, this is my my latest journal. I was about to say my last, not my last. This is my latest journal. And you all, I cannot tell you how much of a outlet writing is. And writing gives you to, like you say, just if you're having a bad day, write your way through it, pull out a pen or pencil or what have you. And sometimes, as you see here, it may just be a word, it might just be a song, it might just be that kind of keep popping up. It does not have to be every time that you go into journal, it's like a complete recap of the most horrible day you've ever had. I want us to stop getting into that kind of funk. Sometimes it's projections, sometimes it's manifestations. I put journals. I put budgets in my journals, because these are numbers that I kind of, you want to reflect on, need to be reminded of. I put, pictures, past pictures, or, what have you. People that I want to send thank you cards to. I use the journal as almost like a roadmap to my soul. I came upon, I really changed the dynamic of the way I journaled when I want to say about 5 years ago, I was telling, my children that I wanted, they're like, what do we do with your journals? Because y'all, I've been journaling since I was, literally like preteen, like, 10, 11, 12. And I lost a great bit with one of the homes that I lived in with my ex-husband. Their basement flooded, and so my journals through that I had all the way up to college were lost. But even with that being said, I still now have a trunk full of journals. But my children were talking with me about what to do with all my journals, because we were moving, I think, and we were packing away my journals, and I was like, we got to make sure stays protected. This box comes on the first trip, that sort of thing. And they were like, what do we do with your journals, after you're gone? And, I said, what do you mean? My journals will go with me. They're going to go with me wherever I'm going. They're coming with me. And my son said, no, I want your journals. And I was just like, ugh, like, I never thought about that. That they want to see my writings. They want to see my process. And so I started to really think about, I remember my dad said something to me when I was 13, at a graphic account of what an experience was like, a makeout experience was like. And my brother had found it, and my brother showed it to my dad. And my dad like, come see me out in the garage. Y'all, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, my dad is like calling me out into the work shed to like cut me up, because he had like a little work shed with like, his saws and stuff. And I was like wholeheartedly like, my dad is gonna kill me and chop me up. Like, this is not gonna end well. So he calls me out to the work shed, and he's working on building. He was building. I think we were building a bird's nest, or it wasn't even like a bird house. My dad was like a wizard with constructing things, and so it was like a bird mansion. It was like a tree house by the time he got through with it. It wasn't even like a bird house. It was like a tree house. But he was working on it, and he was going over some of the angles and some of the blueprint, or as I like to call it, black print. But he didn't look up. He kept his eyes, and I realized why he did now, because he invited me out to the shed to talk with him, because boy, he had to prioritize his own appendages over this over his emotions with what he read. And he was talking as he was going over the measurements, cutting, and he's doing these things, and said, Courtney, I'm just going to say this. So I'm going to tell you two things. Everything that you're doing with, this person who I was having this experience. He said, everything you're doing with this person, named his name, he said, save that for a black boy, because this person was not black. He said, save that for a black person. Like, all of these experiences, save it for someone black. And, I never forgot that. I was like, duh, whatever you're saying, because you're holding knives and hammers and everything. So, okay. If that's how I'm going to walk away from this, sure. That's, I'm going to save it for a black boy. But the next thing he said, I'll never forget, he said, don't ever write something you don't want read. Listen to me. Don't ever write something you don't want read. And let me be very clear. The things that I was writing in my journal at the time, they were not like sexually explicit things. This was not like what I was writing when I was 13, when my dad called me out into their garage. But what they were sad. And I was like, I don't want my kids to pick the journals up and to think that mom had a sad life. Mom was always sad. We were broke, because I was always talking about, the accounts going negative, and, didn't have any money, and, like, and especially after my divorce, because divorce blew my mind with how, I really had underestimated what a marriage, how a marriage was stability. I was always, and also in these journals, I was always complaining about the marriage. Oh my gosh, he's telling me I got no money, we can't even go nowhere, I can't buy this, I can't buy that. And it made me seem so limited. And I just said, I didn't want my children, when they look back on my life, I didn't want them to think of their mom as considering herself broke because she only had a couple of dollars. I want them to know that mom always, felt empowered and beautiful and felt worthy and felt valued and had value in them. So I really made it my mission after that, because now I'm writing for an audience. I'm writing, and I know the audience I'm writing for, and I know what I want to instill in that audience. I write things that are going to pour into them. I write about them, the way that I see them living. I write about having a long life. I write about just looking so forward to, seeing my great grandchildren. I always, up until now, I still will. but I'll write about, being married again and, my significant other and things that we were going to do and things that we were going to buy and, things that we were going to accomplish. Like that's what became my, that's what became a part. Like if I didn't have anything else to write, I wrote, hey, the campaigns or the initiatives I wanted to lead, and always journal entries, um, include everything in always and Mrs. Dyer. Even before I was a Mrs. again, I said, hey, this is it. And I always conclude with saying, order my steps. That's it, accordingly. Accordingly, order my steps. And so no matter what I am writing or what I'm going to write, it's covered, it's in alignment. Um, and that's, I can't say that enough, that when no matter what is happening to your life, you're in alignment with it. So as you stated earlier, if you're like always kind of attracting people that don't value you, do you value yourself? What's going on that this is making you so upset that these people think they're better than you. If you realize who you were, no one could be better than you. What? I remember one of the I think not one of I want to say one of the worst evaluations, but I want to say one of the most ridiculous evaluations I ever got. I was a teacher at a middle school. I was doing a program where wasn't a teacher. Well, I was doing a program where we were organizing like basically the peer counseling. We were organizing peer councils, like teachers. They chose teachers from the school to organize after school programs and organize peer counselors to work programs. And peer counselor said she been working with me because she felt that I was better than her. And I said, what kind of, for one, when I was brought in for evaluation conversation, they call them. Y'all know they're always using these little words. Yeah, so certainly I'm going to answer that, but I just wanted to say this. That was my question. To her, I said, how does my opinion of me affect your opinion of you? And if you're going to tell me that I need to think less of myself to think to dictate how you feel about yourself, you're asking for something I can't give. Because I'm not going to think less of myself. To make you feel better about who you are, I'm not going to think less than myself. And I was at that job too much longer. I guess that was the wrong answer. People felt like these were young, young adults, like 14, 15 years old, and they may have needed coddling, but I'm not going to give you an answer that makes you feel comfortable just because, I tell you one thing about me, keeping a paycheck was never a problem of mine. So that was never an issue. So if I had to walk because I wouldn't yield to this, and if they were looking for ways of making yourself feel better or more empowered, then I can suggest those. But ask me to feel to present that I am lower than to make you feel higher. I just felt that was totally inappropriate. So, Destiny, Sir Senior has a question, and we are wrapping up here shortly, guys. We have about 2 more minutes in the regular broadcast, and then the last 10 minutes. Yes, he says, what does that mean? No one can be better than you. So I'm going to mute. I'm going to let you answer that, and then we're going to get ready for our top 6 at 6, y'all.
So I'm going to answer that. I wanted to say a couple of things to you, though, so I don't forget, because you you mentioned a couple of things. So when you said, once you discover, I have a recommendation for you. I recommend 2 journals for you, because you mentioned, I want to pour into my children. I want to do this. And I also thought about an idea for you to write a memoir, like a To My Children with Love. And that's the journal that you have for them, that they can, whenever you just leave it for them. To My Children with Love. And that is the journal where you pour into them, I recommend 2 journals for you, because you need a journal for yourself. You need a journal, a pour into Courtney journal. And all of your experiences, no matter where you were in life, whatever mindset you were in, whether you were like, man, I don't, I was feeling, you were feeling how you were feeling, and you are valid for feeling that way. So when you make that statement and you say, I don't want them to think this, yes, let them think that. Let them know that mom went through this. I went through the struggle. There were hard times. I felt, I treated myself bad, but I overcame that. I started being good to myself. I started making better choices. I'm getting married tomorrow, So you every experience that you have, you are valid in every experience that you have. And I know there was a question, and I was like, I can't let that go. You know what I mean? Because I really wanted you to know that is my suggestion for you. You need a diary for you, and then your children. You trust your children to take care of that. You are a spirit. You are a spirit. You are an energy. You are more than entitled to feel how you feel and have these experiences, because that's how we learn. We learn through having those experiences. That's how we are the people that we are today. So it's not that you dwelled in it, because here you are. So obviously you found a way. You're resilient. You know what I mean? You're resilient, and I just want you to be cognizant of that those are your tears, that's your sweat, those are your emotions. You are valid in them. It does not matter who, it doesn't matter who or what anyone thinks about that in that time period, because you earn that. It's called life. You know what I mean? So every moment that you have is yours to have. So I don't want you to, ever think that, I have to hide this or hide that. I do think that that's a great idea to pour into your children. And I think that you should take that into, passion and turn it into a profit and a legacy. You know what I mean? For your kids. You want to know what to leave them? Your legacy. So, and then you mentioned something else that I was supposed to answer, but I had to get that out. Well, what did I mean when I said someone thinks that they're better? So, or they're trying to be, oh, they're trying to out, whatever, they're thinking this thing. So let's just use an example of, I'm going to say a cop. I know this is like a sensitive subject, but I'm just going to use this topic. So let's just say a cop. It doesn't matter what his race is, right? But let's just say a person of authority. They approach someone and they do an action based on they think that someone else is going to do something, right? And I understand, the training, and you have to be trained in all situations, correct? However, when that authority, right, perhaps starts thinking like, oh, you think you're better than me? You think you don't have to pay attention to the law? And I'm not saying everyone does it. I'm saying that it's possible that a person of authority can have these thoughts. So anyone who's having these thoughts about a person you've never met, they haven't really said anything. There's something about them. You don't like the car. Maybe you don't like the whatever it is. There's something that is triggering you. And what I'm saying is, when you have these thoughts that it's the other person, that they're doing something to you, it's you doing it to yourself. And when you have those thoughts, when you're like, she's even in a club, oh, she thinks she looks good. Yeah, she probably does, and maybe there's an insecurity within you and you don't think you look so hot. You know what I'm saying? But she does, and so she's there, and everyone else knows it, and you're feeling some kind of way. So I really hope that we start learning how to take those emotions that we're projecting on other people and just turn them back inward and ask yourself a question. Why do I care who looks like? How do I feel about myself? For me, there may be someone with, I don't know, longer hair or, whatever features, but that's great. That looks great on them. I look great on me. My features look good on me. So I really want us to focus on going inward, because that's where that comes from. That whole she's better than me, I don't feel I'm good enough. That's another one. He's better. I don't feel I'm good enough. Why don't you feel that way? What is it that's making you feel that you're not good enough? What did you try and didn't succeed? Is there a resource that you need? Are your people that are around you that you're ace boon coon with? Are they helping you? Are they giving you any type of resources? Oh, are they not? Are they in the same stagnant situation that you don't want to be in? So guess what? You gotta regroup. You need a new crew. You need a new environment. Are you looking outside your window and there's like, you know what I'm saying? Like trash everywhere, or are people like, are there bad things happening around you? You have to, you have to remove yourself from that, because then you start thinking that you start programming everything we see, we think, we say. There's programming, there's seeds that we plant, and we tell ourselves these things, these mean things we say to ourselves. We're not good enough, and that person's better, or they think they're better, or someone's jealous of an actor, and they never even wanted to act in the first place. It's like, why do you care what this person is doing? You don't even like doing that. Why do you care that I'm singing if you don't like singing? Like, what do you like to do? And we have a lot of lost people, which creates a lot of mental health issues, which creates there's a lot going on. And when I stress about journaling, and what you're talking about journaling, it's not about writing the bad, it's about documenting the experiences. So later, at some point, maybe not in this point that you're in, when you're writing those emotions down, those experiences down, at some point you'll come to a point in life when you're like, man, things aren't changing and I don't understand why. Let me reflect. Let me go back. Oh, this was a good day. When was my last good day? Oh, it's when I was introduced to this. This was an opportunity. How did I get that opportunity? Oh, I stopped talking to this person and I met this person. Well, where did you meet that person? Oh, I was in this 5-star restaurant. You know what I mean? And then you can trace back. Oh, so when you started changing your environment, when you started telling people no, okay, when you can go back and say, this is how you learned your lessons. You know what I mean? And when you create that awareness, you're golden. You can have do whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. When you know who you are, you can have whatever you want. Okay, I'm yielding.
Uh, we do have another question. We are going to go to our top 6 at 6, y'all. We're actually after 6 o'clock, so we're going to our top 6 at 6. But we do have another question. Naima Saunders wants to know if your social media and where can people follow you.
Oh,
She already pulled up your book. Naima's already on it. I knew she would be. She'll follow you on social media, wants to engage with you on social media.
so it's Destini, Destini, unfiltered, Unfiltered. That would be so sad if I misspelled that, but yeah, it's Destini Unfiltered. And if you go to my website, if you go to thewordsofmysoul.com, I'm actually building it right now, but you can go and put in your email address, and then when I have new content, the website comes up, there's new products, then you'll have access to that before everybody else. So that's going to be cool. So once again, Destini with an I, unfiltered, are my handles. That's for social media. That's for Instagram. That's for TikTok. That's for YouTube. That's where you find me.
Okay, I wrote that down in the chat room, and the message is pinned, so you all can follow her on all platforms at Destini Unfiltered. Now it is time for our top 6 at 6. Are you ready? Great, great, great. Okay, so I see. You know what? And this is how I knew that we're really sisters and in alignment, because that icon that you have there in the back of you is one of my favorite, all-time favorite figures ever. All right. So my number 6 question for you is what is your fun, interesting fact that you found out about Marilyn Monroe?
Repeat that. You said what was and then you broke up a little bit.
What is the what's the most fun or interesting fact that you have learned about Marilyn Monroe?
Okay, fun fact. Look, Marilyn, listen, Marilyn trusts her intuition. She's always trusted her intuition. She knew who she was. She knew what she wanted. And just without even just seeing, the words, the phrases she would say, the movies, just looking back when they show the flash and you look into her eyes, that's the most interesting fact about her. She knew who she was and she trusted her intuition and she did not care who she went with, what was aligned with what she wanted to do, what she needed for her, and with no unapologetically. So if nobody knew that, that's a fact.
I love that because I can definitely rock with it. There were many people that were like uh very ashamed privately of how they were going about the business publicly. And she always was very adamant that the shame shouldn't be on, on how people, especially women at that time and place, were going about the business. I definitely can agree with you there that she made no bones about it. She's very open and very public about her journey. Her journey. And even with that being said, there was a suffering, there still were vulnerabilities, there still was depression, there still were other things, but about the fame and how she was accomplishing it, she was never ashamed of that or embarrassed by that. So I can definitely agree with you there. A fun fact that I've learned about Marilyn, because like I said, I've read many autobiographies, and I don't really watch too many of the biopics because I'm just like, it's not Marilyn. So, I watch her movies before I watch a biopic. But that she was a genius. She was a genius. She was a very well-read woman. She of course was married to a great writer and playwright. Um, and but she was a genius. She had impeccable intelligence, and I think that sometimes in the scope of her beauty and in her glamour, that definitely got drowned out, that got muted. But she was a very, very smart woman, very intellectual. Okay, number 5. This is a good one, y'all, for all of my transients and uh my Atlanta placements, and we have like a tribe of just us people that may not have been born in Georgia or in Atlanta, but we have come to find Atlanta home. All right, so I've lived other places as well. I know you have also. So I'm going to say, out of the three, Indiana, New York, Atlanta, you could not live anywhere else for the rest of your life. Where are you living?
Okay, I heard New York, Atlanta. What was that first one?
Indiana.
Oh, Indiana, New York, or Atlanta. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Probably New York. Probably New York.
And why? That's great. That's a great answer. She said New York.
There's two reasons. So in New York, I wouldn't need a car. So I would that expense to be gone. Don't need a car in New York. With New York, I find myself gravitating to a lot of different cultures, being able to meet a lot of different cultures. And what is it when you go into different rooms that are not like the rooms that you've been in? You do what? You grow, you develop, you get new information. Not to say that you can't do that in Atlanta. I've just seen more of me gravitating to the energy there than I have here
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
thus far. And in New York, for me, I feel like it would be easier for me to get in the rooms. You know what I mean? It's easier for me to be like, oh, this is going on. I'm getting on the train. I go, and then I'm just there, and then I just let my energy just. I just need to be in the room. I'll have a conversation. Put me in the room. I need a conversation. And I don't know. I feel like I haven't ventured so much out in Atlanta because I have been going through a cycle of being inward. I'm coming out of that now because I always have to go in first.
Hmm. Hmm.
But so we'll see because this is a
Hmm.
whole new, journey I'm venturing into as we speak. So we'll see how that's going to play out. But
Yeah.
say New York because I can cut, even though they say, man, it's expensive, right? But I learned how to cut a lot of expenses and not really have to, and still have fun. I learned where the free the summer parties are and where the people got like you know what I mean. There's so many things going on, and you don't even have to really spend a lot. I really didn't spend a lot on. I spent a lot on other people, not necessarily in New York, but I didn't have the expenses there that I do here. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely it does. I'm coming from was born in Daytona, so kind of like with you in Indiana, but grew up in Philly, but have lived equally between Miami and now Atlanta. So I'm just like I get it. I get it. There are certain things that you need in Miami that you don't need anywhere else. Trust and believe me. know. And then there's certain expenses that you can cut in Atlanta that absolutely you couldn't cut anywhere else. So I definitely get it. So that was a good one. Number four is a fun one, with your name being Destiny. What's your favorite Destiny Child song?
Favorite. Oh wait, was that? Oh, that was Beyonce. Hold on, y'all. Wait, I'm like, which one?
I know you gotta check yourself sometimes with that one. Yes, yes, because it comes to all Beyonce anyway. Right,
Was my song.
right.
Tell y'all, Destiny Child. Okay, so this is my song. When she was like, do 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 do. First we started out with cool. I was like, oh snap! The Candy
Uh,
Cane song. Remember that? Remember? And at
you
that
talking
time,
about bills?
Bills,
Yeah.
yes. And at that time,
And Candy wrote that.
she did.
Candy from Escape wrote that.
Oh,
Yes. She wrote that and she wrote Scrubs.
the
Candy
one
gets paid off the pen. Candy gets paid off the pen. She wrote that and she wrote Scrubs. So, and
and
you know what's funny is that she wrote them, they were around the same time. So you like, Candy, what was going on? You got the Scrubs and they play the bill. What's
wait,
happening?
TLC has
What's happening?
and it was so funny because I was like,
Yeah.
at that time, I had allowed myself to be in a situation where I'm like, wait, you're taking you bought me some with my card? You know what I mean?
Bless you.
The
Hmm.
car don't have gas. Why the car don't have gas? And I gotta go to work. You know, to work it. Why the car don't have no gas? You like stuff like that. So when
I
that
tell you,
song came out, it was like, yes, come on.
you get it. You get it. I trick, because I like to say I avoid a lot. I avoided a lot by married early at 19. So I avoided a lot of um uh trauma. But then I had unnecessary trauma because there were, after my husband and I separated, I was, seeing someone, and the man, he tricked me into paying for a dinner that I wasn't even supposed to go to. He tricked me into paying for himself and his mom's dinner. And I wasn't even supposed to go to this dinner, and I didn't even realize what was happening until my card was being swiped, it was one of my lowest moments. For real. It really was. It really was. I'm like, that's not the way that was even supposed to go down. I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, how did I get here, Deborah Cox style? And, here I am paying for everybody's meal. You know. And to top it off, I had the I it was Olive Garden, and I had sat up there and ordered the bread salad. So I'm paying for everybody's meal, and I have the least. Do you know how embarrassing this was for me? Like, I'm collecting myself on the train ride home. This is in Philly, and I'm just like, how did that even happen? Like, what? I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm really crazy.
So journal.
That was a good.
If you
That
have those moments, when you have those epiphanies, when you like, girl, what? You write that down. So you know, girl.
I do believe I did record that event. I think that was one of the ones that got destroyed in that basement flooding. But I did record that. That was a very low moment for me. I just remember just saying, like, I was so foolish, so foolish. But I digress. I have a great one now. A far great one. Um, this is really, these are really countdown. These are really countdown. These are fun. Number three. Number three. I know you said your daughter's into, I want to say anime, right? Because my son is in anime, right? So, hey, if it's anime, all right. So these are your options, and because I said I want you to think hard on this because I know we have ones that we love that love anime, but if it is the choice between watching anime with your child, all right, or uh no all expenses paid trip, what are you choosing? What are you choosing?
Wait a minute. Wait.
It's,
You said anime babies, right? Or all
yeah,
expense
yeah.
trip to where? Where's
Oh, and this is anywhere of your choosing. All expenses trade paid. Yes.
oh, so we go in and we can
We
watch
gonna
anime anywhere there.
I
Hey, I'm a package.
love
We
it.
got to be included in the
See,
all expenses so we can watch
sis, you just
anime.
taught me something because I was chucking up the deuces. I was chucking up the deuces. You taught me something. I really was. I'm like, listen, boy, listen. You can have that. I'm gone. You set yourself up. Wow. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All expenses paid. We can watch on the flight. We can watch anime. I wasn't even thinking that. Look, you done broke the matrix, Destiny. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, oh my gosh, that was a very good one. Number two, and this is near and dear to my heart, but number two, cat or dog? Which one are you?
Dog, even though the cat's here, but dog. I'm
Oh,
animal.
that's right. That's right. Your daughter has a cat. Right. That's right. Yeah. So you're a dog person. Okay. Okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. This is the first time in my adult life ever I've owned a dog.
They can put
And it's been quite an interesting experience. Oh, Naima said she taught me something also. Yeah, right. I mean, Destiny messed up the matrix when Destiny said, "Oh, we lit. Is we going anywhere? Let's watch anime on the flight." Because I'm bringing the baby
I
with
got
me. It's coming.
pack our things,
Yeah.
and when we get in the car, anime, and then you can play it all the way and listen while we're driving to the airport. And
Yeah.
when we get on the plane, when we're waiting at the plane, you can watch it then, and then on the way, girl, you can put your headphones on and watch it, and I'll look over and I got you. We can talk about it.
Got it. You got it. But I'm taking this trip. I'm taking this trip. I love it. I love it. And number one, because y'all know, as I shared with the guests earlier that I was so pleased that Destiny came to the Colored Only Cafe, the Rainbow Brunch Bunch launch. I want to know what was your favorite item that day? Your favorite item from the brunch? Because I'm a foodie, I know. And what was your favorite brunch item?
Okay, so I have to the lemonade was so good. I do remember that because I was like, oh, this is so good. The drink, and then
Yes, yes, yes.
tell me what was on the menu so I could tell you what it was.
You had the Hemmings mac and cheese, which of course it's cheeseless. It was dairyless, and
Okay,
the kale collard wraps, and then the jackfruit
that was
tacos.
good. So the wraps, it was the wraps. It was so good.
Ah, the collard wraps, collard and kale wraps. Okay, but you could have said the lemonade, and I'd be done. Because literally, that's how I built. That's how my business started. It started with the lemonade, the Grove lemonade. Y'all,
But
I'm telling y'all that's how I fought my way back from eviction was with that lemonade. When life hands you lemons, you make Grove lemonade. Yes, that is no sugar added pineapple based lemonade. Served best when chilled or frozen, and it is absolutely a dessert that you will skip the meal for. So, with that being said, y'all, that is it. Our power hour with the lovely Destiny Taylor is up. I want to thank you again, Destiny, for coming on. I love your energy. As you've always known, we must together sometime physically very soon, just so I can put my hands and my eyes on you, give you a hug and all that good stuff. And absolutely, just share some space, just reconnect. But this was really fun, really fun. And if there's anything else you would like to say to our guests, the floor is all yours. I'm coming off the stage. It's all on you. And until next time, y'all know what to do. Keep it glowing.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the platform. I am truly grateful. If you get a chance, please go check out The Words of My Soul. You can find it on Amazon. Just type in Destiny Taylor, Destini, and type in The Words of My Soul. I prefer that you try this version. I want to, can you see it? Yes. Try this version of The Words of My Soul out because it asks you questions that will allow you to reflect. I think it's very important that we ask ourselves these questions and answer them truthfully so that we can continue to have that blueprint and go inward and continue to grow and develop. So I appreciate the space. Thank you again, Courtney, so much. And I don't have anything else to say, but I'm out of here. Courtney, where you at? Because I know she didn't just have me take over the platform.